Hi everyone, it's Moraviva and Shoko. Today we are going to be learning this week's Parsha. Right now we are in Sefer Bamidbar. Sefer Bamidbar is the fourth book in the Torah. This week's Parsha is called Parshat Behaalotecha. Enjoy! Parshat Behaalotecha. All the Nisim brought up korbanot in the Mishkan, but only Aaron the Kohen Gadol and the Nasi of Shevet Levi was not commanded to bring a korban. Aaron was very upset about it and wondered if perhaps he had done an avera and thereby angered Hashem. Hashem was quick to calm him down. "Don't be sad," he said. "I am about to give you an important task that I have reserved just for you. You will light the candles of the menorah in the Mishkan every day." And so it was. Every day without fail, Aaron lit the menorah. He was also zochet to a very big miracle. As long as he was alive, the middle candle, which was called the Ner Tamid, did not extinguish, and he would use it to light the other candles. It shone brightly the entire time, and every day Aaron would light the remaining candles, 3 on each side of the Ner Tamid. The festive feeling of Yom Tov hung in the air. All the houses were sparkling clean. There was not a crumb of chametz to be found. In every house there was a sheep tied to a bed, ready to be brought up as a korban Pesach. Both adults and children alike waited anxiously to perform the mitzvah of Pesach that Hashem had commanded them to keep. In just a little while, the korban Pesach would be offered. Then each family would sit down and eat from the korban Pesach. Far away from the city of Yerushalayim, a hungry, tired man named Michael walked slowly. A few days had already passed since he had began his journey towards Yerushalayim. He had started out on a donkey, but the donkey had died suddenly on the way, and he was left to walk the remaining distance. Now Michael knew that it was just about time to bring the korban, and he was nowhere near the city. Would he have to miss out on the special mitzvah this year? Yehuda was another man who was feeling very upset. Yehuda was lying in bed with a high fever. He was feeling so sick that he couldn't even eat. His entire family had gone to the Beit HaMikdash to bring the korban Pesach, and only he was left alone. Would he too not merit to bring up the korban and eat from it? Luckily for both Michael and Yehuda and many others like them, the answer is no. Hashem had told Moshe Rabbeinu, any person who is sick or impure or perhaps not in Yerushalayim on Pesach may still bring a korban Pesach on Pesach Sheni, the 14th day of Iyar. The korban Pesach on Pesach Sheni was also eaten with matzah and maror, just like on Pesach. In the desert, every day the Yidden received food in a special way. They opened the door to find a treasure, a portion of man, made to measure. This special gift of man that Hashem sent would fall wherever the Yidden went. Healthy, filling, and tasting so good, the man was truly a wonderful food. When the Yidden left Mitzrayim, many goyim who had seen the wonderful miracles that Hashem had performed decided to join them. They too wanted to be part of the Choshen nation. These people were called Erev Rav. Not all of the Erev Rav fully believed in Hashem's powers. Many times they would cry and complain, and the Yidden who heard them would join in as well. After a few days of eating the man, they began to complain. Back in Mitzrayim, there was so much to eat, so much fruits and vegetables, chicken and meat, and here in the desert, we only get man to eat the same thing each day is not any fun. Yidden heard these complaints and quickly forgot that in Mitzrayim they had been slaves and hardly received any food. They began whining just like the Erev Rav. The fact that the man could taste like any food they wanted was not enough for them? Hashem was very upset at the behavior of the Yidden. He said to Moshe, "Tell them that they will receive the meat that they wanted tomorrow. And not only tomorrow," Hashem added, "for the next 30 days I will give them only meat. Soon they will become sick and tired of this meat, and eventually they will suffer and die from it as a punishment for complaining." "Oh, Hashem," cried Moshe Rabbeinu, "what type of gift can this be? Meat that will cause so much suffering? It is better that they should die rather than say that Hashem couldn't give them food in the desert," Hashem answered. Moshe Rabbeinu went to the people and said, "You saw that Hashem sent you water and then also the man? If he wants, he could send you meat as well." Moshe hoped that this would cause them to do teshuvah and forget about their request for meat. But they didn't, and they said, "Surely Hashem isn't able to send us meat, and that's why you're trying to convince us to be happy with the man." And then it happened. Without any warning, straight from the sky, slav quails began falling. The people ran out and caught them one by one. They hurried to slaughter and cook them. could hardly wait till they were done. When the birds were cooked and ready, they all sat down to eat. With much appetite and relish, they enjoyed the tasty treat. But just as they were chewing, the first person suddenly fell. Hashem's warning was coming true. It wasn't difficult to tell. For that entire month, people died all the time. Those who hadn't believed in Hashem were now paying for their crime. Miriam went to Aaron and said, Moshe's wife is so upset. Our brother Moshe does not live in their tent with her. He's busy all day in the Mishkan talking to Hashem, and she's on her own all the time. Hashem talks to us sometimes as well, but we still make time for our families. Miriam was a very big tzaddiket. She loved her brother Moshe dearly and only meant good with the things that she said. Miriam was sure that Aaron would talk to Moshe, and Moshe would return to his family. Yet, despite her good intentions, Hashem was angry that Miriam spoke lashon hara about her brother and punished her with saras. Just as she finished talking, Miriam and Aaron suddenly noticed white ugly spots covering Miriam's body. Moshe, our brother, Aaron cried, we have sinned and spoken foolishly. Please daven for Miriam to be healed. The humble Moshe was not angry at his sister. Rather, he called out to Hashem, Hashem, please heal her. And Hashem answered, Miriam will have to sit outside the camp for 7 days like anyone else who sinned and is punished with saras. Miriam left the camp and the entire nation waited for her for 7 days instead of continuing on their way. Everyone remembered the way Miriam had waited by the water when her brother Moshe had been a baby to see what would become of him. She had loved him and cared about him, so now the people cared to wait for her too. After 7 days, the saras disappeared and Miriam returned to the camp. I hope you enjoyed this week's Parsha and learned the nice lesson of being careful with the words that we say. Have a great Shabbat from Moraviva and Shoko. Bye.